There's a reason why Donald Trump had 12% in 2022, and now he's knocking at 22 to 23% of the black vote here in America because of black men, because men are seeing themselves. They say, hey, they doing it to Donald Trump.
Here's what I said. Here's why I said blacks to Trump. I remember that time when Donald Trump said, "Where's my African American?" Well, maybe he's got more than he anticipated because it would appear that more and more African American voters are putting their faith in the former president. With less than 6 months to go before the next U.S. general, Kamala Harris, the vice president, is trying to appeal to a demographic that has become frustrated with Joe Biden and drifted to the now presumed Republican candidate, Donald J. Trump. Now, you'll know that black Americans are often called the backbone of the Democratic Party. 92% of those who voted in 2020 backed Joe Biden. That was according to the Pew Research Center. But polls are currently finding that some of them are drifting away, especially black men. Okay, so a polling average since the start of April puts black support for Biden on 69% and Trump on 18%. Whoa. And in close states like Michigan, this could be decisive in Donald Trump's favor. So let's talk to Pastor Mark Burns, who's Donald Trump's spiritual advisor. Pastor Burns, hello again.
Hey, good to hear from you. Good to be here.
Talk to you. Okay, so can you give me your assessment of what appears to be a swing, particularly among African-American men, toward the banner of Donald Trump? What's behind it?
Well, I can tell you that it's several things. Number one, black people who have, as you said, 92% in 2020 voted for Joe Biden are really frustrated with the policies of the Democratic Party. I mean, again, we've been voting Democrat, and I voted for Barack Obama twice, being I don't call myself a staunch Democrat, but I was a Democrat because that's traditionally what we knew as a black community. We know that we vote for the Democratic Party because that's the party of the civil rights movement. But that has all changed. It is not the party of the civil rights movement today. It is the party of let's use as many black faces and votes as possible to win the general election, but then disappear and only use black people for their votes because they don't even fight for the black votes. Right now, the economy is a big issue. Number two, how this two-tiered injustice system that is happening to Donald J. Trump. Black men have been dealing with that same two-tiered injustice
Pastor,
for 400
please, come
years
on. You
in
cannot
America.
compare what Donald Trump is going through, a very, very wealthy man who actually said the system is rigged, and I know because I use it. Black men aren't profiting from a rigged system. You can't compare the two. That's like chalk and cheese.
No,
come on.
no. I'm not sure what you're talking about. I never said nothing about profiting.
Okay.
I said black people have been suffering.
Yes, no, I understand what you said. But I'm saying,
and I'm telling you right now, the fact that if a government can utilize the justice system to go after anybody simply because they don't like them, that's exactly what Bull Connor did in Mississippi. That's exactly what the Jim Crow laws were made to do. A government, a system utilizing against black people simply for the color of their skin.
But Pastor, please remember what
and black men. No, hear what I'm saying.
Okay,
hold on,
Pastor,
hear what I'm saying.
Yep.
And the fact that black men are seeing this. There's a reason why Donald Trump had 12% in 2022, and now he's knocking at 22 to 23% of the black vote here in America because of black men, because men are seeing themselves. They say, hey, they doing it to Donald Trump, but also black men have a memory. They remember when Donald Trump received the Lifetime Achievement Award with Rosa Parks, who was considered the mother of the civil rights movement. They remember when Donald Trump helped create the first black Wall Street in Wall Street, donating a building to Reverend Jesse Jackson, so that black people can have representation on Wall Street.
But hang on, Pastor. They may also remember what Donald J. Trump said about the Central Park Five and how he also discriminated against black men in housing.
I'm glad you brought that up because, see, you want to talk about Donald Trump and what he said about the Central Park Five, but let's also talk about the black men that was on the jury that sent those innocent black men to prison, my guy. You keep talking about what Donald Trump put in a newspaper. How about those black men and those brown men and black and brown jurors that were on the jury, and they voted to send those black innocent boys to flipping prison?
Well, Pastor, remember how the justice system works in America. The justice system, you said, is rigged
concept that people do all the time.
Yep.
They say, hey, Donald Trump tried to send those boys to prison,
Yep.
for putting out an article when those same men were sent to prison by a jury, and there
Yep.
were black and brown people on that jury. That's like Emmett Till. We want to talk about Emmett Till, the young black 13-year-old that was massacred and killed for whistling at a white woman, who later on said she didn't whistle after the white woman said that the boy didn't whistle, but they raped and sodomized and kidnapped that kid, and they brutalized him, shot him in the face with a shotgun, left him in the water to be killed. He came down from Chicago down to the South. Everybody knows the story
Yep.
of Emmett Till, but nobody wants to talk about the two black men that went in there and pulled that black child out of the house in the middle of the night, and yet they used Emmett Till to further the civil rights movement. Now,
Well, hang on, Pastor. The reason why they did that, Pastor, please, it's about call and response. It's about call and response.
You're talking to me,
Pastor, it's an interview where you've been talking.
Man that knows history. Don't give me that same bullcrap mess of Donald Trump trying to put those kids in the Central Park 5.
Pastor, I'm stress testing your argument. Look, the two men who pulled the Emmett Till out of the house, they did it at gunpoint. They did it at gunpoint because they were terrified for their own lives. I wouldn't commend what they did, and you may have done the same thing.
That's not true. Because black men, people had a choice to stay in the South or leave. Bullcrap. They weren't gunpoint. They sodomized those child. They didn't do that in gunpoint. They did
I'm
it
talking
because
about.
they
I'm talking
wanted
about.
to. And they.
Pastor,
And the white masters gave them instructions to do it, and they did it.
Pastor, let's get back to the fundamentals, okay? The fundamentals are Donald Trump.
Oh, you don't want to deal with it because you don't want to.
No, Pastor, no. The reason, Pastor, is because we've got 1 minute left, and we've been arguing back and forth, right? We've got ourselves into a trench here, and so the people listening are wondering. You may chuckle, Pastor. You may chuckle. But I do this for a living. I interview people of different stripes every single day of the week. I do it all the time, okay?
I do this for a living.
Yeah, of course, of course.
Go ahead.
Okay, so you're a pastor. You're a spiritual guy, you know? And so we're talking here as sensible guys on the airwaves for the edification, hopefully, of the people listening. And I'm wondering what Donald J. Trump will do specifically for the people who are going to put their faith in him, it would appear, that Joe Biden and Kamala Harris and their administration have not done.
Well, I mean, first of all, we're talking about building black businesses. I mean, remember, there was the first Black Wall Street and there was second Black Wall Street. The first Black Wall Street was burnt down in Tulsa, Oklahoma, right, when black people was thriving, when they owned businesses. Number two, you also had second Black Wall Street in Fayetteville, North Carolina, that also was burnt down. We're talking about financial economics that Donald Trump is doing. Donald Trump is not going to pander after no one race. Donald Trump is going to create policies, which he did before, to help raise up economic instructions and economic literacy for the black community. There's a reason right now why we as black people don't own homes, but Donald Trump is creating policies. The Platinum Plan that's designed to put over $500 million, to create 500,000 black-owned businesses in America, but also to speedline the process so that black-owned businesses can do business with the federal government. That's where we got Ebony Magazine. That's where we got Jet Magazine. That's where we got so many black businesses that are thriving today because Richard Nixon created an 8A program that was specifically designed to increase prosperity within black-owned businesses in America. Donald Trump knows this. Donald Trump knows that when there are black-owned businesses, that creates black jobs in black communities. And that is what we're labeled for. We don't want no handouts. We want you to get out of our way. Like Frederick Douglass said, it's a great black orator that was an abolitionist, that led the abolitionist movement, that escaped slavery. And he said, listen, we don't want to hand out. Just don't get in our way.
All right. Well, let's see if that happens. Let's see if Donald Trump creates an environment in which black-owned businesses can thrive and that some of his other supporters don't try and burn them down again. We're going to leave it there. Pastor Mark Burns, Donald Trump's spiritual advisor, thank you very much indeed for joining us.